Locksmith. This is one of the most boring and unimpressive ACs on this whole list. I remember nothing from my playthrough with it. That's how forgettable an experience it is to play. The assault rifle is a plus from me, and it pairs well with the laser sword. The normal attack allows you for one slash with good damage, but its real strength lies in the charged move. It takes a while to charge, but the result is a huge and devastating double sweep. Another downside it has is that the plane of the sweep is adjusted based on the relative positions of you and the target, and this sometimes results in some funky whiffs. Still, the damage it deals rivals the pile bunker, it is that good. It's also the best thing about this AC. The laser drones are really weak. It's shocking how little they do before they drop like dead flies. They can also be charged and can deal some okay damage if they hit. The last weapon is the spread bazooka, which is quite powerful. It fires 5 rockets which can deal a lot of damage and impact, not unlike the songbirds. However, it needs to be fired at close range for maximum effectiveness. Its main downside is the low ammo capacity. The frame is this really basic biped with middling stats, not unlike the trainer AC. The internals also scream of being as average as possible. The generator has a low capacity and recharge stats, and its best attribute is the energy firearm spec. Can you count how many energy firearms there are on this AC? The expansion is pulse armor, which further compounds how boring of a basic bitch Freud is. This AC is not bad, it will take you places, but its only exceptional aspects are 2 weapons. That's just not enough. Liger Tail. A heavyweight tetrapod with a hell of a bite. The Huben minigun is an exceptionally devastating kinetic weapon. It doesn't require reloading, but does slowly overheat. Its main downside is the fairly low range. The first shoulder weapon are the top tier songbirds. Despite being a tetrapod, they still require the mech to slow down a lot when firing, which is a bit of a downside. The other is this dual split missile launcher. Split missiles are special in how they travel in unison towards the target and then split into several small missiles and converge on the target from different angles. This functionality is not very important to me, but they can deal some good damage and impact for a missile weapon. I also like how the launch is slightly staggered, which makes it easier to hit an evasive enemy. The final weapon is this explosive thrower. It's literally a box with small bombs that you throw in an arc in front of you. It's basically a melee weapon, but one with fairly good range. Still, the closer you are, the more damage it will deal. It kind of feels like it's meant to be the Punisher, but the damage isn't quite there in my opinion. It seems like unloading with the Huben on a staggered enemy will deal more damage than the explosive thrower. Therefore, feel free to use it in order to apply stagger in the first place. One nice thing about it is that the tetrapod legs allow you to keep moving while the bombs do what bombs do. This weapon selection is quite powerful, but it would have been top tier with a proper punish melee. I guess Michigan just wouldn't be caught using an energy weapon. The frame is this heavy set of parts. None of the stats really jump out at me as being overly bad or excessively good either. I rate these tetrapod legs as the load limit they provide is worth the hit in mobility. The generator is the Sun Tai with the highest energy capacity in the game, which I approve of. The FCS specializes in mid-range, which I don't approve of. I think close range would be better for the Huben and explosive thrower. Pulse protection is Michigan's expansion of choice, which has some nice synergy with the tetrapod's hover. One downside of this expansion with most AC legs is that if it's triggered mid-air, you will have to continually expend energy to stay within its embrace. The ability to hover for a very low energy cost helps with this issue. Still, having to constantly maneuver around the bubble to keep a wall between you and the enemy is a headache that pulse armor manages to avoid, and that's what I would have picked. Overall, this AC has some strong weaponry, good at staggering and shredding down your opponent. A better punish in the form of a melee or energy weapon would make it more than a force to be reckoned with. Aster Crown. I don't want to be too mean, because this AC can be powerful, but it almost feels like it was created using purely RNG, and without consideration as to how the components work together. The setup offers two kinetic guns, the Sampo burst handgun and the Harris linear rifle. Let's talk about the weapon ranges in this game. The problem with having one exceedingly short-range gun and one exceedingly long-range gun is that you still have to get close if you want both to be effective. In that case, you might as well put another short-range weapon, save some EN and weight, which might let you make the AC more mobile. There are some games where having one long-range weapon and one short-range weapon is a good thing, like in some first-person shooters. However, in this genre of games, you can usually use only one weapon at a time. Therefore, you just pull out the weapon you want to be using in the situation. However, in Armored Core 6, you have up to 4 weapons equipped at any given time, and many of them can all be firing simultaneously. Therefore, attributes such as Energy Firearm spec encourage you to go in on either energy weapons or just ignore it and pick a generator based on other qualities, which encourages you to go all kinetic. You can also only pick one FCS to govern all of your weapons. These game mechanics subtly push the player towards using weapons similar to each other, which specializes their AC and makes it unique. Yeah, so back to the weapon selection. These two guns don't go very well together, but they can shred if used in unison. I'd pick a more normal pistol, as I feel they have more sustained impact output, and I prefer the Curtis over the Harris for the same reason, but these are fine too. The third weapon is this triple laser cannon. It deals incredible damage but is very unwieldy. Even the uncharged fire mode requires these barrels to flip around and take aim before firing. It's a good ranged punish weapon. That's also the only thing it's good at, given its ammo capacity is only 24. Doesn't seem too bad, right? Well, what I didn't mention is that it consumes 3 cells per shot. That's right, you are allowed to use this weapon a whopping... I wrote 4 times. Why did I write 4 times? It's 8 times, it's clearly 8 times. A whopping 8 times before requiring a resupply. It's a punish weapon and a punish weapon only. The last unit is the Pulse Scutum. How the fuck do I say? Scutum pronunciation.
Scutum.
Scutum? Okay. Pulse Scutum is the equivalent of the fingerprint shield in Elden Ring. If you want to use it, pull it up and never set it down. The impact mitigation can be immense, but it takes a while to reach that point. This shield feels like a godsend, given the heavyweight tetrapod nature of this AC, until you realize the shield resets if you so much as fire the linear rifle. And that's not all. Wanted to have a quick boost anyway for fun? Say goodbye to your protection. Assault boosting is out of the picture. This AC is either a tank with a BB gun for its main cannon, or a slow and fragile angry kid with a knife. Simply swapping the hand weapons around would have done this machine so much good. These weapons really don't mesh well together, and we haven't even started discussing the AC itself yet. The frame is a weird mishmash of parts. The legs are the heavy ones, which I really like. However, the strength of this set is that it allows you to commit to go all heavy weapons guy on its ass. The other parts are frail, and the boosters don't help with increasing mobility. Upwards thrust is not very useful when you want to stay close to the enemy. The result is one of the least mobile preset ACs with near 10k HP. That is unforgivably low. At least the FCS specializes in close range, but I don't really know what I'm meant to do with that assault armor expansion. I guess it's a punish for when the laser cannon inevitably falls off, never to be seen again. The generator also just sucks. This AC is one of the weirdest and most incongruent ACs in this game. It's very awkward to use and will be an arena demon within its extremely narrow operating window. However, I feel like if I asked a random number generator to pick each part for me, I'd end up with an AC that has an okay chance at being more flexible and reliable than whatever this is.